Assalamualaikum and good day to everyone. So today we are going to learn about environmental audit. Okay, so first of all, we need to know the definition of environmental auditing. So what is environmental audit? It is actually a systematic, documented, periodic, and objective review by regulated entities of facility operations and practices related to meeting the environmental requirement. Okay, so in other words, environmental auditing is actually a management tool for measuring the effects of certain activities on the environment against certain standard. Okay, so it depends on the type of standard and the focus of the audit. So actually, there are different types of environmental audit. Okay, so the environmental audit is used to investigate and also to understand and lastly to identify. Okay, so these are used to help improve existing human activities or with the aim of reducing the adverse effect of these activities on the environment. Okay, now what is the definition of audit? Okay, so you need to know the term audit means, in general, it is actually an examination that involves analysis, a test, and also confirmation of procedure to verify whether they comply with some legal requirements or not. Okay, so for example, if you have certain things to be audited, okay, so the auditor will come and will analyze, test, and do confirmation for whatever it is stated in the report. So dia akan datang untuk check lah sama ada all the things that is reported in the report true or not. Okay, so next, look at some of the Okay, so environmental audits are intended to quantify environmental performance and also environmental position. So it contains a statement of environmental performance and environmental position, and also aim to define what needs to be done to sustain or improve such performance and position. Okay, so from this report from the audit, so kita boleh buat corrective action. Okay, so next look at who are the auditors. Okay, so in order to audit, you need to have auditor. So environmental auditors can get certified through written exam and acceptance of the Environmental Auditor Association Code of Ethics. Okay, so basically, you can be an environmental auditors from certified by DOE. Okay, so you can find some courses, because in order to be an auditor, you need to enroll in some courses, and then after that, you need to sit for an exam. Okay, so all the courses can be find through website. Okay, so listed here some of the induction course for environmental auditor. Okay, and also a list of environmental auditors. Also, you can look at the website, DOE website. Okay, so from here, the website will list all the environmental auditor that is registered with DOE. Okay, so next, okay, it's okay. Basically, you can go through this website, okay, to get the list of environmental auditors registered with DOE. So all registered auditors with DOE will be in this list, okay, together with the qualification. And then also, in order to become an auditor, you need to enroll with some courses and then sit for certain exam, and there are certain procedure to be a certified in environmental auditors. Okay. So next, okay, so this is about ISO 14001. So ISO 14001 defines an environmental audit, which is the environmental standard against which organizations are assessed. So ISO 14001 specifies the requirement for an EMS. EMS stated for Environmental Management System. Okay. So there are more of a certain standard. We have ISO 14,000, 19,000. Okay, so banyak lagi jenis standard. So what is the meaning of ISO? Okay, ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization. Okay, ISO. So next, look at the objectives of having environmental audit. So why do we need to do environmental auditing? Okay, so first thing first, we need to have an environmental audit to verify compliance with environmental requirements. Okay, so this is the purpose of having environmental audit. Okay, it is actually a tool to assess compliance with certain environmental legislation. Okay, number two, to evaluate the effectiveness of environmental management system that is already in place. Okay, or in other words, it is actually to improve environmental performance through monitoring the effectiveness of the management system. Okay, and number three, the objectives to assess risk from regulated and unregulated materials. Okay, it is actually to increase the company's knowledge of itself and its activities, and also increasing its ability to continually improve and minimize future potential liabilities. Okay. So there are certain areas of audit, including the material management, saving, and alternatives. Okay, and also we have energy management and savings, water management, waste generation, noise reduction, air emissions, environmental emergency prevention and preparedness, and much more. Okay, including transportation, staff awareness. So these are all included in the areas of audit. Okay. Okay. Now look at the audit process. So audit process is commonly structured into 3 phases. Okay. So the first one is pre-audit. Okay, pre-audit, and the second one is on-site audit, and lastly, post-audit. Okay, so now look at the first one, pre-audit. Okay, so pre-audit activities is actually to the process involved to select the auditor, review preliminary information, and also prepare audit plan and also the checklist. Okay, so for pre-audit, so first you need to select the auditors involved in the environmental audit, and then from all the auditors, there must be the lead auditor. Okay, akan ada seorang lead auditor. Okay, so the activities started with the selection and schedule facility to audit. And then number 2, select audit team members. And number 3, contact facility and plant audit. Okay. And then number 2, we have activities at site ataupun known as on-site audit. Okay, so on-site audit involve the opening meeting, and then conduct the audit at site, and lastly closing the meeting. Okay, so the first step is to understand the internal controls, assess internal controls, evaluate audit evidence, evaluate audit findings, and lastly report findings to facility. Okay, so you need to evaluate all the evidence that is stated in the report. Okay, so check sama ada evidence tu betul ataupun tak. And then step number 4, evaluate audit findings. So kalau evidence tu tak cukup, so dia akan jadi non-compliance. Okay, tak comply kepada certain regulation. So dia akan tulis dalam report tu lah. Okay, the non-compliance. And then lastly dia akan buat report. Okay, so all the report findings to be put in the written report. Okay, so number 3 we have post audit activities. So this is actually to prepare audit report and also to implement the corrective and preventive action. Okay, so started with the issue draft report. So at this stage, the auditor and auditee akan berbincang about the draft report, and then after semua setuju, barulah issue final report. Okay, and then after that, action plan preparation and implementation will be taken. And lastly, auditor akan follow up on the action plan that has been prepared before.